Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Sefer CHOFETZ CHAIM, and he writes like this: Ein shum heter lahamin b'Lashon HaRa. There is no heter, there's no permission to believe the words of Lashon HaRa that you hear. Afilu ma mesaper sipar lav Lashon HaRa b'fanav. Even let's say if a Reuven, the one who's telling over Lashon HaRa about Shimon, says it over while Shimon is there right in front of him. So you have Reuven telling Lashon HaRa, you have about Shimon who's standing right there, and you have Levi that is standing and listening. And Shimon is silent. He doesn't say a word when he hears these negative things that are being said about him. Says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, Kevan shelo shemanu haydo al zeh mipin anidain, since that Shimon has not confessed that what was being said about him is true, so therefore you are not allowed to believe the words of Lashon HaRa that you heard. The kol shekain, all the more so, if Reuven is not telling over the Lashon HaRa in front of Shimon, he says, you know what, though, I would say it if Shimon was here also. I'm not embarrassed. I would say over this Lashon HaRa in front of Shimon. Nevertheless, the asar la'aminoi mitamzeh, you're not allowed to believe the words of Lashon HaRa. Unfortunately, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, because of our many sins, people stumble in this often when they hear Lashon HaRa in such a way. Even if Shimon, who's the words of Lashon HaRa being spoken about, even if he remains silent when he's standing there, when they're saying over these negative things about him, nevertheless, you cannot bring any proof from his silence. Say, oh, you know what? You know why Shimon is being quiet when they say Lashon HaRa? Because it must be true. Not allowed to say that. Even if Shimon's nature is never to be silent, he's always talking, he's a big yapper all the time, people say things, he's already responding. Now he's being quiet over here. Says, when people say things that he doesn't like, he usually speaks up. And now people are saying nasty things about him, and he's quiet. Maybe he just was misgaber. He overcame his regular nature of always talking back, and he decided, I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. He says, you know what, I'm not going to get involved in an argument over here. If he's saying nasty things about me, Lashon HaRa, and I start to defend myself, a fight's going to break out. I don't want it. Or he realizes that Shimon, who is listening, that Levi, who is listening to the Lashon HaRa about Shimon, will believe Reuven, who's telling over the Lashon HaRa, much more than Shimon, who's defending himself. Like the terrible, unfortunate ways of the way that people go through things in life, they will automatically presume that what they hear is true. Because if he's accusing him and he's saying in front of this person, it must be that it's true. So Shimon says to himself, what do I have to gain over here? Number one, I might start a fight. Number two, they're not going to believe me anyway. It's just going to make things worse. Even if the person denies the report 100 times, they're still not going to believe him. Therefore Shimon resolved within himself, better that I should just remain quiet. Let me be amongst those that are embarrassed and debased instead of expressing my outrage and getting angry with these people and protesting. Therefore you can't take any proof from his silence to conclude that this that was spoken about him is emes, is the truth. And therefore says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, even if the subject himself is standing right there and the Lashon HaRa is being spoken and he's remaining quiet. So shtika k'hoidah, if a person's quiet, must mean that he agrees. That's why he's not arguing. That's why he's not defending himself. Must be that it's true. Says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, no. In the laws of Lashon HaRa, you're not allowed to believe and be makabel and accept that it's true. You have to be dan l'chav schus, that there's maybe many reasons why he's remaining silent right now, and I, myself, the listener, have no right to listen and to be makabel and to accept the words of Lashon HaRa as being true. Have a wonderful day.